to go. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Rabbi Josh Lobel, and I am joined on the bima by
Cantor Danielle Rodniski.
And we are just so excited to welcome you to this really meaningful, joyous service for the Bar Mitzvah of Jonah. And we're going to wish an early Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.
You see, we got it out of the way early. It's great. A little Mazel Tov before we even start. It really is an exciting time for Jonah, for the family, and it's really great to have everyone here in the sanctuary and everyone who is joining us at home via our streaming service. Shabbat Shalom to you as well. What does it mean to become a bar mitzvah? Literally, we say a bar mitzvah is a son of the commandments. It signifies the entrance of a young Jewish male into adulthood. But more so than that, for me, becoming a bar mitzvah is about becoming a Jewish leader. It's about taking your first step into that role, into that responsibility of Jewish leadership, Jewish adulthood, Jewish responsibility. And so we are all going to help Jonah out today by taking part in this service. We're going to participate enthusiastically in our service. We have, to help us out, a prayer book that you will find in your seat pocket in front of you. We encourage everyone to follow along and read and sing along with our blessings. We also have a program to let you know a little bit more about the service, about what it means, and who the players are this afternoon. And so with all of that said, again, it's going to be a great service. It's really wonderful to welcome Shabbat, to continue Shabbat actually with all of you. And we're going to now turn in our prayer books to page 190 for our Talis blessing. We're going to call up Lisa and Mark Kozlow and Eitan Kandel to present Jonah with his Talis. Jonah's going to be right over here.
Jonah, we've watched you grow and mature into the young man you are today. We couldn't be prouder to be here as you become a bar mitzvah. We hope you will wear and enjoy this talis throughout your life. We would be remiss in not remembering your Bubby and Zadie on your special day. Their greatest pleasure was to present each of their grandchildren with their talis on the day they became B'nai Mitzvah. We feel very blessed to be honored and be able to present you with your talis on behalf of all of your grandparents. I was told you were going to read that.
Yeah, writes it up from 3.
Sorry.
We don't give too much of a challenge.
You haven't learned how to read upside down? Sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Lahatitev batzitzit.
Amen.
Amen.
Now we can put it on.
Mazel tov.
Very nice.
Come here, buddy. Come.
Okay, thank you so much.
You gotta stay. We gotta.
Mazel tov, mazel tov.
Thank you.
All good things. Okay, gonna hop up and Cantor Danielle can take us away here.
We continue with the Baruch on page 146. Please rise.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the season, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name, ever-living God. May you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We continue on page 150. Everlasting love you have offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our day. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen.
We continue with the Shema on page 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated.
Look at the power you have. They all sat down. They all listened.
Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha Veshinantam halavanhecha, vidibarta bam, beshiftecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, ushachbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam, Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Leman tiskeru vasitam et kol mitotai vihitiem kedoshim leElohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim mihiotahem leElohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem Emet. We continue on page 158.
Adonai, mi chamocha nedar v'kodesh. Nora tehilot osefet, Mara tehilot osefet,
כיפד אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 160. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Shelter us beneath your wings, oh Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, oh Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen. Page 162.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael
et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת
לדורותם ברית עולם.
לדורותם
ושמרו בני ישראל Shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Lektortam le'itolam.
וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Ledorotam veritolam. We continue on page 164. Please rise. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezoher Chaste Avot Vehimaot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lemon Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umashia Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Vezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv Harua Umorid Hagashem, Mechalkei Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Kaye Emunatot, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atzal L'chayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yehalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
We're now going to pause for a few moments of silent prayer and reflection.
יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן יעשה שלום שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל 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 יעשה שלום שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
We have now arrived at what many people consider to be the most important, the most consequential part of the Bar Mitzvah experience, the service for the reading of the Torah. But why, one can ask, why is this act of reading Torah seen as so essential for a Bar Mitzvah service? Let me hazard a guess. We've been reading Torah as a Jewish community for how many years? Anyone have a guess? I'm hearing hundreds of years. Sounds good. The cantor knows, but she went to seminary. We're talking about 2,500 years. The Jewish people have gathered together to hear the word of Torah. Coming back from exile from Babylonia, we rebuilt the temple, and there we had a scribe and a scholar named Ezra, and he instituted Torah reading for the people. We'd all come together, we'd gather, and we'd hear the words of Torah. And from that point on, every single week, depending on your community, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days a week, we came together to hear the Torah. Still today, how many activities, religious activities, can we think about that we've been doing for 2,500 years strong? And around the world on Shabbat, every Jewish community today is reading Torah. And they're reading from the very same Torah portion that we're going to read today. How amazing is that? If you're a Jewish community here in Clearwater, if you're a Jewish community in London, if you're in Sydney, Australia, or if you are the Jewish community of the Ukraine, who we hold into our hearts at this moment in time, we're all coming together to listen to the words of Torah. And today, at this very moment, Jonah is going to join that line of tradition, that link in tradition for 2,500 years. Let's all think about how wonderful that is and what a blessing it is for all of us to be together to share this sacred moment in time. Let's turn to page 363, Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of the Torah. Assemble the people, the men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai, your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai, your God. We're going to call to come forward now Elaine and Bob Gamson and Jane and Mark Goldman to open the Ark. And we are going to also call to come forward Eitan Kandel, Lisa and Mark Kozlow, and Josh and Danny Gamson to pass the Torah into Jonah's arms, a symbol of our commitment to transmit Torah from generation to generation. Let's all please rise together.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך
you send them on up?
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Yeah, no, can you just tell me it over here? Okay, I got it. Where is it? Noah, Maggie, yes. Yes. Okay, gotta wait for it to be done.
Yes.
And
Ethan's lifting.
Yeah, it's later. That's after. Yeah. Yeah, go across. Easier. Oh, other side. Perfect. You at the belt? Go right over there too. Jonah, grab the book. Okay. Actually, it's not you, right? Should we have Maggie come up first? Okay. Actually, please be seated. Gotta wait till the Torah is down and comfortable, then we can sit down. That's much better. Okay, still need the mic. For our first Aliyah, we're going to call to come forward Michael and Lorinda Gamson for the Aliyah, and Maggie Gamson to read our first Aliyah. Yeah, let's get a blessing. Sorry, over here.
Okay, am I supposed to?
I'm just going to get the mic.
Okay. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ele fekudi hamishkan, mishkan ha'edut asher pukad el pi Moshe. Avodah haleviim beyad Itamar ben Aharon hakohen, Betzalel Uri ben Hur lemata Yehuda asa et kol asher tziva Adonai et Moshe. Veito Oholiav ben Achisama lemata Dan Charash v'choshev v'rokem vatichelet uvaragman uvatoleit hasheni uvashesh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
That there? Okay. Yeah, he has a special one.
We got a different yard. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Also wanted to thank Noah and Ezra for helping us get the Torah prepared with Maggie. That was very nice. And now we're going to call up our second Aliyah, Danielle and Josh Gamson. And the reading from the Torah will be Jonah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Kol hazahav he'asui lamlacha bechol melechet hakodesh vayehi zehav hatenufa Teisha ve'esrim kikar Ushva me'ot ushloshim shekel b'shekel hakodesh ve'chesef pekudei ha'edah me'at kikar Ve'elef ushva me'ot v'chamisha ve'shiv'im shekel b'shekel hakodesh Beka laglu golet machatzit hashekel Beshekel HaKodesh Lechol HaOver Al HaPekudim Mi Ben Esrim Shana Vamala Leshesh Meot Elef Ushloshet Alafim Vachamesh Me'at Vachamishim Vayehi Mi'at Kikar HaKasef Latzeket Eit Adnei HaKodesh Ve'eit Adnei HaParochet Me'at Adanim Lim'at Hakikar Kikar La'aden
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Ya Amod Bar HaMitzvah Yona Binyamin Ben Daniela Dafna V'Yehoshua La'aliyah LaTorah
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorah Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher bakar banu mikol ha'amim Ve'natan lanu et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah Ve'et ha'elef Ushva Hameot V'chamisha Ve'shiv'im Asa Vavim La'amudim Vetzipa Rashehem Vehishak Otam Unechoshet Hatenufa Shiv'im Kikar Ve'alpaim Ve'arba Me'ot Shakel Vayas ba et adnei petach ohel moed ve'et michbar mizbach hanachoshet ve'et michbar hanachoshet asher lo ve'et kol kelei hamizbeach ve'et adnei hechatzer saviv ve'et adnei sha'ar hechatzer ve'et kol yidot hamishkan ve'et kol yidot hechatzer saviv. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yasha Koa. Wonderful.
Mr. Perfectionist. That's nice.
We're now going to call to come forward Ethan Treiser and Mara Gamson for the lifting and dressing of the Torah.
Ya'amdu hamagdiya v'hagolelet.
Let's all rise together. Okay.
Bezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael. Al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. Yalla lay 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 lay
We can take our seats. In the prayer book, we are on page 376 and 377 as we invite to come forward Michelle and Ron Horowitz, Michelle and Rob Peters, and Marin and Richard Cohen for the blessing for our congregation, for our country, and for Israel.
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion in prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah navod.
Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. May they help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Pray for the peace of Jerusalem, and may those who love you prosper.
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread it over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. You did good.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful. We've now come to one of my favorite parts of any B'nai Mitzvah service, the Devar Torah. This is Jonah's moment to explain to us what he has learned, what he has understood from his Torah portion. What meaning has he found in this ancient text? What new insights has he gleaned? How does the Torah portion relate to his life and the life of the community? We're all going to find out in just a moment. Jonah, take it away.
Shabbat shalom. Let's be honest, that was a bunch of Hebrew words and you probably didn't know what they meant. Neither did I. So they don't have. I think my parents picked my Torah portion the day I was born. I mean, come on. One of my baby announcements was to save the date for my bar mitzvah. My mom would say that you can find the answers to anything in the Torah. It's just how you interpret it. Not sure about that one, but let's go with it. My Torah portion is Pekudei, which is in the book of Exodus. It's all about building the tabernacle. The tabernacle was a portable sanctuary that was built so that the Israelites could feel closer to God while wandering in the desert. It was made of gold, silver, and copper, which was provided by the Jewish people. Everyone contributed in some way. For example, the tailors made the curtains that hung over the tent that contained the tabernacle. The younger people helped physically build it, and the elders contributed the previously mentioned gold, silver, and copper. The tabernacle was used by everyone for sacrifices. Now we pray. Everyone has their own tabernacle in some way, a space that feels holy or different from their every way. For me, it's my cave, where I keep all my comics, Legos, and video games, because it's where I feel safe and connected to the things that are important to me. Like the tabernacle, which was built from precious things in their world, I have precious metals in my own life. My precious metals are my Legos, comics, and video games. They are tools for me to use when I'm in need of alone time. Taking that alone time allows me to feel more human. When I feel more human, I focus better in school, focus better in rehearsal, and focus better socially. As I tried to figure out how to relate my Torah to turning 13, I realized that, as a teenager, I'm trying to make sense of my world, and just like most humans, we're always trying to make sense of things we don't understand, even if that means making it up. Religion is a way of understanding human creation, even if it might not be 100% real. When I struggle with understanding, I look to the things I do understand. DC's Heroes in Crisis does a great job of helping me identify this search for meaning. It dives into the mental drawbacks of being a superhero. The Flash kills other superheroes because he doesn't know where he fits into the wider universe. Then a bunch of time travel mumbo jumbo, and it ends with the Flash alone, thinking about how he's affected himself in the larger scheme. Then more time travel mumbo jumbo, and he fixes everything, all of his wrongs, and becomes the superhero he envisioned himself as. This parallels, so I'm still trying to figure out who I want to be in the bigger scheme of the world. At our rehearsal on, Monday, Tuesday, Rabbi LaBelle and I talked about Batman, and I realized that Batman's a vigilante, a superhero who bends the law to work for himself and ignores laws that don't work for him. When it comes to becoming a bar mitzvah, I'm a bit of a vigilante also. Batman doesn't have any superpowers, but he has a tool belt that contains the tools he might need when saving the world. He has everything from a seal echolocation translation device to a female villain repellent. That was our Google search. He doesn't know when he's going to use those tools, but he has them available to him. This is the same as becoming bar mitzvahed. I'm on my own journey. Like the Israelites, I have my tabernacle and my tool belt. My bar mitzvah is just another tool in my tool belt. I don't know when I'm going to use it. Even though I feel like I'm in a search for meaning, I have the tools, or my own precious metals, to help me be more human in my search. And I hope that you all can find your precious metals in your lives and help you with your search. I want to take a quick moment to say thank you. Even though having a bar mitzvah may not have been top of my list, I'm grateful for those who have helped me. Thank you, Bridget, for spending countless hours with me, teaching me Torah, prayers, and talking about all things pop culture. Thank you, Cantor Danielle, for reminding me that even if I did this in Japanese, everyone would still be impressed. I appreciate you for spending your weekend with me and my family. Thank you, Rabbi LaBelle, for allowing my mom to think outside the box and for guiding me. Today would not have been possible without your kindness. Thank you, my mom, for driving me crazy, making me do this, and more importantly, loving me when I was a little angsty. Thank you, Dad, for, again, driving me crazy and reviewing Hebrew with me over and over and over again. Thank you, Mara, for reminding me that over and over and over again that this is my bar mitzvah, not yours. I appreciate all the love and support in this sanctuary, and know that we could not have pulled this weekend off with all of you. Shabbat Shalom.
Yasher Koach, again, what a wonderful job. We're now going to invite to come forward, Danny and Josh for a few words of blessing. Indeed. You're in the right place for it, at any rate. Yes. Okay, just gonna slide over there.
She's got her tissues. She's ready.
How's that going for you? How's it going for you?
A good rabbi friend of mine used to say that when you turn 13, you become bar mitzvah. No service, no ceremony, just turn 13 and boom, automatic bar mitzvah. There are times when we thought you might have preferred it that way. After all, thanks to your Devar Torah, we all know now that celebrating your bar mitzvah was never high on your priority list. But when we stood on this same bima 721 days ago, back when I was still taller than you, the wheels probably started turning, and that's when you probably figured out, all right, if I'm gonna do this, I'm doing it my way, because that's how you've lived your life, your way. I didn't want another February baby. I wanted you to have your own birth month, so when we got to the hospital on the night of February 28th, I kept saying to you, you have to wait, you have to wait. At 2:02 a.m. on March 1st, there you were. As if to say, all right, Mom, I did what you asked. Now it's Jonah's time. And Jonah time has made life interesting since your first debut.
So when we thought about this day and the time we'd have to impart all of our parental wisdom on you, we wanted to make sure we did it in a language you would understand. Unfortunately, we don't watch nearly as much anime as you do, so Japanese wasn't gonna happen. But then we thought about the thing that makes you unique. Pop culture may seem trivial, but it lets us dream and smile. It connects us across racial, political, and social divides, and it's a huge part of what makes you, you. Every birthday party, every photo album, every Facebook post, they've all been Star Wars or superheroes related, and that's to say nothing of your own performances. It's really no surprise that you commanded the stage today. After all, you've been doing that pretty much since the time you were old enough to hold a microphone. So we found our shared language and pop culture quotes. Life lessons it is.
I feel incredibly awkward as a human being and incredibly teenaged still. That's not me saying it. It's the first quote, and it comes from Andrew Garfield, someone whose work you've really embraced recently, from Spider-Man to Tick, Tick, Boom. What you might not know is Garfield is Jewish, just like you. On this day, when you become an adult in the eyes of the Jewish community, it's easy to focus on your wisdom and maturity. We see them so often from you, but you're just starting out your teenage years, and you have so much journey ahead of you. I made it to page 3. There are times when you may not feel wise or mature or comfortable, and when those days happen, remember the lesson of Garfield's words. It's okay to feel awkward. It's the most normal thing in the world.
Do or do not, there is no try. Master Yoda may as well have been talking directly to you with this famous line. Because everything you do, you're either all in or you're all out. Starting out in thespians in middle school, did you just dip a toe in the water, dabble in a show here or there? Please, shows, competitions, you jumped in with both feet. It's how you've attacked so much in your life. You work out your reasons and your logic, and then you set your mind to it, and it's no use trying to talk you out of it, which isn't always the easiest thing for a parent to accept. But that determination and drive will serve you well throughout your life. Just make sure to use it for good, because we know what happens when a Jedi starts to look at the dark side.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. Now, this is the one you could probably be saying to us, which is ironic, given that both of your parents have dedicated a good part of their lives to Jewish youth. But even from a very early age, you've embodied more faith than most people. When you were 2 years old, you sat in your car seat, giving a perfect description of God, or at least your perception of God. You were also sure God was sitting in the front passenger seat and couldn't understand why I was so oblivious to someone sitting right next to me. It may not have come from a prayer book or a religious school lesson, but your heart has fundamental and personal connection with faith, whether you call it religion or not. Keep listening to it. It will lead you to believe in something bigger than yourself.
Had to go with this one. With great power comes great responsibility. Uncle Ben's words, the other Uncle Ben, Uncle Ben's words to Peter Parker have been repeated so often, they've basically been turned into a meme. But those words, which are really more of a commandment, which we Jews know a thing or two about, become Peter's guiding principle as he becomes Spider-Man and struggles with his newfound abilities. Remember, Peter was a teenager, just like you. And just like Peter struggles with his powers, sometimes it can be exhausting when you have big brains and feel like you're destined to do big things. Judaism and Stan Lee teach us that we aren't obligated to finish the work of perfecting the world, but we also aren't able to ignore it, especially when we've been given amazing talents.
I love you.
I'm not saying it.
I know. An iconic exchange from a love story in a galaxy far, far away, and it wasn't even supposed to happen. When Princess Leia professes her love for Han Solo, he was supposed to say, "I love you too." But come on, is that really how Han would react? No way. Han and Leia are quintessential smartasses, not unlike yourself. So Harrison Ford changed it up so that Han could maintain his calm, cool exterior. But even though he refuses to get sappy, we know what he means and how he feels. You're the same way. You don't always wear your emotions on your sleeve, but we always know how you feel based on how you act. If Han and Leia taught us anything, it's the importance of finding your person and making sure they know how meaningful they are to you, whether through actions or words.
I wear a mask, and that mask, it's not to hide who I am, but to create what I am. Batman is a unique superhero. For starters, he doesn't have any powers. But when he puts on his mask, it gives him power. It gives him strength and confidence and the ability to become that persona of the Dark Knight. This is the idea that masks don't hide us, but give us the freedom to create the ability to become. It's something you do every time you take on a role, whether it's embracing the character you're playing in a show or exploring what it's like to be a toaster. You've been putting on masks that way since you were a little kid, dressing up and creating storylines. Always lean into that creativity and the freedom to be yourself no matter what mask you're wearing.
There's a superhero in all of us. We just need the courage to put on the cape. Superman may be faster than a speeding bullet and more powerful than a locomotive, but he can't be everywhere at once. And his words tell us that everyone has a role to play. You find your courage and you put on your cape, whatever that means in your life, and you too can be a hero. Superman was created by two Jews at a time when the world was uncertain and life for the Jewish people could be full of peril. In some ways, it's still true today. The peril may exist on different levels, and the uncertainty may take on different forms, but the world still needs heroes to take on injustices, big and small. At the beginning of this speech, we talked about Jonah time. Buddy, that time is now. Page 8. And it lasts the rest of your life. You get to be one of those heroes that the world needs. Your wisdom, your determination, your power, your faith, your creativity, and your love. Those are your cape. And now you get to wrap it around yourself and venture out into the world, making it a better place because you're in it. We're so incredibly proud of you, and we can't wait to cheer you on as you make your mark in the world.
Mazel tov.
Sorry, we can only be so lucky. Okay. Yes. You left too quickly. That's okay. Let's all rise together for Shehechianu as we embrace this sacred moment in time. We can take our seats. It's now my pleasure to call to come forward Bridget Siegel-Fultz to share a few words of blessing. Bridget worked with Jonah as he prepared for this day. Amongst many other accolades I could have given you, but we're good on time.
That works.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're over here, he's over here, and
Come join me.
take it over.
Okay.
I know. You're tired of it, I know. Jonah, much like you and I worked on in your Devar Torah today, I am striving to always make sure when I say something, it's something I believe in. All of what I'm about to say to you, I feel is completely true, especially about you. And here's the first one. I believe in you. It took a lot of strength for you to get up here today. For every day you struggled, there were 2 days where you did amazing. And even though I'm sure you're thinking about shaking your head right now, you didn't get to see you through my eyes. I had a fantastic drash happen this week in class about Peku Day, and I think it really applies to this moment, and much like I used to share with you over the weeks, I'm gonna share it right now. In the parashah leading up to this week, the pieces of the tabernacle were being built and crafted, but will remain as separate pieces until it's time to bring the Mishkan together. As the Israelites come together as one, with the brass clasps, lechaber et ha'oel, lehiyot echad, the tent joins together to become one. Over the last 6 weeks, you've been gathering your materials, building the pieces. You see where I'm going with this. And now today you brought them all together as one. You had the courage to stand up here and give all of yourself to the people in this space who love you and want you to succeed. Having the great honor to watch you craft those pieces has been my pleasure. Getting to know Jonah the DC fanatic, Jonah the Lego builder, Jonah the Pokemon trainer, all the cool versions of Jonah. I've really gotten to see how far you push yourself when you feel excited and passionate about something. Thank you for letting me learn with you and for teaching me all about the history of Legos. Speaking of, I'm still upset that you built that Daily Bugle Lego without me, but one day I'll just have to make it and we'll compare notes. Thank you. You really did fantastic.
Are you saying the other versions of me weren't cool?
All the versions of you are cool.
Yeah, sure.
Still need you. We're so close, Jonah. We're so close. I have known you and your family for a very long time, since I was the soloist here almost 10 years ago. Crazy. You were not even in kindergarten yet, right? He was in preschool? So I have known you and your whole family for a very, very long time, and I have gotten the privilege of seeing this part of your journey so far. And you said it today in your Devar Torah. This bar mitzvah today is one tool in your toolbox. It's one stop along this journey of your life. And I know that maybe the bar mitzvah wasn't your top priority, as you said so funnily. And I hope that you're able to look back on this day and have it bring you support. Look at all the people who are here who love you and support you and can be part of your future on this journey. And continue exploring your faith, as your mom said, whether or not that looks like a service at a synagogue. However that might look for you, I'm here for you on your journey, always to be a resource. And I want to share a blessing with you that is special to my journey as well. It was my bat mitzvah Torah portion, Lech Lecha, and a blessing for your continued exploration, your continued journey to discover who you truly are.
To a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lech lecha, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lech lecha, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lech lecha, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, lech lecha. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. And you shall be a blessing. Lech lecha.
But just for a minute. Just for a minute. We're so close. We're putting to the test the idea that you can never have enough blessing. No, it's a wonderful thing. We're going to call to come forward Alan Ezrin and Jody Murphy to open the ark. And I'm going to share a few words of private blessing with Jonah. Let's all rise together.
You're a gift and you're a blessing. You are history in song. You are hope and you are healing. You are learning to be strong. You are words and you are stories. You are pictures of the past. You're a carrier of wisdom, not the first and not the last. Salvador, Nagidolecha, Salvador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Salvador, these lips will praise your name. Salvador, Nagidolecha, Salvador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Salvador, these lips will praise your name. Salvador, Nagidolecha, Salvador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Salvador, these lips will praise your name. Salvador, Nagidolecha, Salvador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Salvador, these lips will praise your name.
And now, we're going to ask Jonah to bow his head as we bestow God's blessing upon him.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha.
May God's light always shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom.
May God grant you the greatest of blessings, peace and fulfillment in life. As together we say, Amen.
Amen. We continue putting our Torah back into our ark. On page 374, we'll stay standing. Eitz Chaim hi lama chaziki ba v'tomchecha meushar deracheha darchei nom v'chol netivoteha shalom. 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We're going to remain standing as we turn to page 598. We take a moment and we think of all those that we have loved and lost who did not live to reach this moment in time, members of the family I know we're thinking of, and those in our community that meant so much to us. We take them all into our hearts at this moment, and we join together with Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma tivra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam l'olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudisha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yama v'imru amen. Yehi shlomo Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, and all over the world. As together we say, amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. I'm going to sing something.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
I would now like to call to come forward Angela Wackler for the presentation of gifts. Angela is our temple administrator, but really more importantly in this case, close family friend.
One more time.
Hold on 1 second.
You think I'm going to need a tissue?
Just in case.
Okay. Before I start with Jonah, I just want to make sure everyone understands what's happening once the service is over. So there is
dinner that will be food trucks outside in our front court. There's a gaming truck that will be out there for anybody who wants to participate in a little laser tag. It should be a lot of fun. There's a DJ inside. There's seating inside of our social hall and outside in our courtyard if anybody would feel more comfortable sitting outside. So there's lots of opportunities for you. Now, Jonah. Oh, one more thing I forgot. If you didn't notice, the candies on the table out front, that tells you what your table number is. So please make sure you find your piece of candy so you know which table you're sitting at. Okay, on to Jonah. I know so many people have said so many things about you, and I don't want to repeat what everybody else has said because I agree with everything they have said. However, once somebody is a member of the Temple B'nai Israel family, they're always a member of the Temple B'nai Israel family. And I hope you appreciate, thank you. How many people traveled from near and far to be here for you? You are such a special kid. I feel like you've been in my life forever. There are so many things about you that they're just so unique. You really do embrace who you are, and I've always appreciated that about you. So, we have several gifts from our congregation. First, you'll have your Kiddush cup that comes from Brotherhood, has your name engraved on it, and the date of your bar mitzvah, so you'll always remember, and you can use it for future events and celebrate going forward. Here's a tzedakah box, so anytime you have spare change, you can collect it and send it to the Jewish National Fund. We know how important tzedakah is for the Jewish community. This is a mezuzah that comes from our Friendship Club. You can use it on your dorm room, you can use it on your bedroom door, your first house, wherever you want to keep it, but that's from our Friendship Club. There is a book from our sisterhood called Text Messages, a Torah commentary for teens. I'm sure you're going to start reading that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
We have your bar mitzvah certificate that's signed by the rabbi and Cantor Daniel Rodnitsky. And there's a tree that has been planted in your honor in Israel. So there's a certificate in here that shows that tree. There's also a certificate for $250 for an Israel trip, which I'm certain your mom will insist that you go on more than once. So when you're there, please find the tree that's planted in your honor and water it. And finally, this is sort of a running joke, but it is a book that is called The Histories of the Jewish People of Pinellas County. It's actually written by one of our congregants, and the running joke is this is the first edition, and Jonah, we expect you to be in the second. Now, I realize you don't live in Pinellas County, but your family has a long tradition of unique experiences, from Mara's bat mitzvah, where the temple closed down the very next day because of the pandemic, to your bar mitzvah, where you're welcoming all these people into our sanctuary without masks. So, there you go. Mazel tov. Good job, Jonah. You're almost done. I did need a tape.
Wonderful. We're so close, I promise. In fact, actually, we're going to write the Havdalah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. As we have enjoyed this wonderful service and this Shabbat time together, it's now time to say goodbye, at least to Shabbat. We still have a little bit of fun to go, but Shabbat is ending, at least by our calendar right now, or at least our timing. We've decided, we've made it so. And so we're going to continue with Havdalah, which is the Jewish tradition that separates Shabbat from the rest of the week. And so Havdalah literally means separation. And so Bridget, you're going to come forward to help us out. Jonah, you can go next to Bridget. And if you turn to page 612 in your prayer books, you'll find the Havdalah blessings, 612 to 614. Let's all rise together. now invite all of the young people here, meaning 18 or younger. We're all young at heart, perhaps, but 18 or younger to come forward to join Jonah as we conclude with Motzi. Parents can come up. Yes. It's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday. Oh my goodness. Okay, go team, go.
1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shavua tov.
Shavua Tov and Mazel Tov! And now we continue onwards to our Simcha. Enjoy, everybody. Baruch Yah. Let me just detalis over here for a second.